Hey folks, welcome back to the Edupedia world, and I am Abhinay Gupta. And today again, we will continue with the Professional Ethics by the Chartered Accountant Act 1949. And the students who are updated, they know that yes, we have completed all the parts of the clause number 6 about the solicitation of client. We have discussed each bits and pieces of that clause in detail and also covered the case studies that have been provided by the institute. Right? So after that, I think you should not be having any problem and any deviation from the institute's knowledge bank with reference to the clause number 1 to 6 of the part 1 and the first schedule. Right? So now if you're done with that, we move on to the next clause, which is the clause number 7. Right? So let us see what the clause says. A chartered accountant in practice is deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he advertises his professional attainment, means whatever he has achieved in his past being a professional chartered accountant, if he advertises that, he is deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct. Right? So first we read the text of the entire clause, and then we will understand the background and the detail of this clause. Right? So he will be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he advertises his professional attainments or services, or uses any designation or expression other than the chartered accountant. Right? But not everywhere on its professional documents, visiting cards, letterheads or signboards, unless it be a degree of university established by law in India or recognized by the central government, or a title indicating membership of the Institute of Chartered Accountant or any other institution that has been recognized by the central government or may be recognized by the council. When we talk about the council, we are talking about the central council of the institute or the regional council. It's about the council of the institute. Right? Further it says, provided that a member in practice may advertise, so this is an exception to the clause, that they may advertise through write-up, setting out the services provided by him or his firm and particulars of his firm, subject to certain guidelines as may be issued by the council. Right? So after taking a plain reading of this clause, what is the first thing that comes to your mind, or what is the only thing that comes to your mind? Is that, bro, as per clause 7, we are not supposed to advertise. Right? So in the previous clauses also, when we were talking about the solicitation of client, securing client and stuff, I made you understand over there itself that advertisement for us is not allowed. We cannot advertise clients or our professional attainments. Right? So the entire clause number 7, will deal with that point, that advertisement is not allowed. But now again we will draw a thin line difference, right, between what are the types of advertisement that we, or what are the types of information communicated that we do not consider to be an advertisement, and just a little deviation in that information would make it an advertisement. So that difference is to be understood, and we will focus our next few lectures on clause 7 depending upon the requirement. Right? Because the purpose is to make sure that whatever knowledge bank the institute wants to provide is gone into your head, because we don't know what questions are coming up in the upcoming examinations. Right? So as a layman, you all know, okay, advertisement is not allowed, but understand, my dear friend, institute is not gonna ask you a simple straightforward question whether an advertisement is allowed or not, or somebody did an advertisement, say whether he's guilty or not, and you go on to write clause 7. The questions are not coming that way. Understand? It's a case where somebody has gone through doing something which is very close to that line of difference that I'm talking about. It is very close, either on the right or on the left, but it is very close to the line. That means if your confidence is shaken by even 20%, you may fall on the other side and get your answer wrong. Right? So please pay detailed attention when we are discussing about what are the kinds of advertisement that we call to be advertisement and prohibit, and what are the other kinds of information flow that we say that is allowed by the council or the government. Right? So we'll begin with that. So we have listed down certain points for discussion. So the first thing we understand in clause number 7 is that it prohibits advertising. That means, yes, you cannot go on to give in your advertisements in newspapers and magazines, in journals, on the website, anywhere, right? You cannot advertise your firm that, yeah, this is the firm, we are specialized into this is our rate, we have so many different categories of people, we have these many clients, or whatsoever. You are not supposed to do it, right? That is the first and initial thing we understand. We'll get into the details of advertising too, right? Like you have seen, the kinds of advertisements you are prohibited while you're preparing your website, but that is a part of clause number 6, right, in solicitation. Next, prohibits the use of other designation. So if you are a chartered accountant at any point of time, right, then if you use other designations, like if you are also a CS, also a lawyer, also a cost accountant, or anything, right, and you, wherever you are or wherever you use your word, your name and your designation, you go on to give away 3-4 designations. So and so chartered accountant, company secretary, lawyer, and this and that, and blah blah blah, right? What are you trying to do? You are trying to show to the public that, listen, it's me, I'm specialized in so many categories and so many fields, come to me, get the audit done. No, you have to be professional, you have to be simple, you have to put just one message across, that you are a chartered accountant firm or a chartered accountant proprietor. That is it, right? No showing of clients, no showing of other designations, no boasting any other attainments, right? So you're not supposed to use any other designation, right? Then prohibits displaying of other professional attainments. Yes. Now again, on your letterheads, your visiting card, or anywhere, first of all, you're not using any designation other than chartered accountant. That is one thing for sure. Next, even if you have any professional attainments, right, so it will be improper for a chartered accountant to display in any of his professional document that he is also a cost accountant, any management consultant, an income tax consultant, or anything like that. You can keep the designation with you, you can display it somewhere, but on your working documents, you're not supposed to do these things, right? You're not displaying your other professional attainments on your working documents where you're working as a chartered accountant, basically. Like if you're providing an auditing, then on the letterhead you write all the other designations that you have or all the other professional attainment, then that is incorrect, right? Stop boasting off, be simple, and maintain the dignity of this profession. Okay. Further, it prohibits the display of date. Now, what do you mean by display of date? This is one thing to understand. And what is the rationale behind prohibiting the display of date? So, date basically can be anything. Your qualification date or the date of establishment of your firm that you are in right now, right? So, what happens is, if you try to show to the public that, listen, I am a 20-year-old chartered accountant and I'm very experienced. My firm is a 20-year-old reputed firm. If you want audits, come to us. That is the kind of message you convey, and the new chartered accountant who has just set up his firm maybe a year back, right? People may not have confidence on that firm. So automatically you take away all the clients. So all old settled chartered accountants, they take away client and new do not get, right? So there will be an imbalance in the distribution of the work amongst the professionals, right? Because that will create a biasness. So you just have to give the basic information of the kinds of services you provide and your firm and the details of the partner. That is it, right? No boasting of that, yeah, we are 20, 30, 40-year-old company, firm or anything. Nothing of that sort is to be done, right? Even on your website, right? On your website, you have to give in your date of establishment, not the date of establishment of the website, but the date of establishment of your firm. But that should not be displayed to anybody unnecessarily. So if anybody has come to your website and now they want to know how old the firm is, then they can request the date. That means you need to use the pull technology instead of the push technology. You are not supposed to show the dates without their demand to see the date, right? So if someone has that bent of mind and they want to check your seniority in the market, right, then they may request you to show the dates, and then via pull technology you can display the date on the website for that particular person, right? Otherwise, if things are not coming in his mind, let us not create unnecessary competition in the market. That will create a biasness, may be true, may not be true. It is not necessary that a chartered accountant who has been established or who has been settled in the market for somewhere around 15 to 20 years has to be an expert. No, because lots of laws have been changing recently over the past, and he may not be equipped with what new things are going on in the market. So in one sense we can say he gets obsolete. So in that case again, if the market starts thinking that everything is changing and they hunt for new chartered accountant and the old ones suffer. So in either scenario, they do not want any dispute, any biasness, and hence they prohibit the display of date on your professional documents with your name, along with your name anywhere, even though on the website. Right? This has to be very clearly understood. Next, no designation of other functionary. Now, what are the other functionary basically? So when we basically talk about the other functionary, right, these are the functionaries that you get with the designation of chartered accountant. That means you are already a chartered accountant, but along with that, right, there are other functions that you undertake, that you perform, right? And those functions can be like, if you are the member of the parliament, that can be a different functionary altogether for you. If you are a municipal councillor, right, or any such kind of functionary, if you undertake, right, you are not supposed to display it. That will not be your designation, that so and so chartered accountant and member of parliament. No, either you be a member of parliament or you be a chartered accountant. You are not supposed to carry both the designation at the same time, right? Do not go ahead flaunting and misusing your position as a member of parliament or something big like that, right? If your clients are coming to you, they are coming to you for some specific task that can be performed by a chartered accountant only, and hence they are looking for chartered accountants and not for member of parliaments. So don't let them be biased by the other functionaries that you carry forward. Got it? Next, may practice as advocate subject to permission from bar council. Now this has been a controversial topic. When I say controversial, does not mean it is controversial by law, but it is controversial among the student, because many authors that you follow, right, many books that you follow, many teachers that you follow, right, as a student even I have followed a lot of books and teachers, but the problem is I actually failed to understand what this topic means. Even after going through some answers from the previous examinations, the concept was not very clear. I always doubted it. That if you are a chartered accountant, what I thought basically is that if you are a chartered accountant, you are no more an advocate. Even if you're going to file a suit, a case, income tax thing, all those things, you have to do it under the designation of a chartered accountant. You cannot use the designation of a lawyer. That is some understanding that I had initially, right? Because the examples were also quoted from the income tax department as well, right? Everywhere I found the same example. It was about the income tax department. If you're going there, you'll have to appear in front of the authority in the designation of a chartered accountant, because there you can appear as a chartered accountant. Now understand, what is the difference that some of the students we fail to understand is that, okay, where you are going to perform some task that can be performed by a chartered accountant, then do it under the designation of chartered accountant. But if you are to fight a case in the court, can a chartered accountant do that? No. But a lawyer can definitely do that. And you are also a lawyer. So if you are defending your client in the court, right, you will have to take permission from the bar council that you, in the capacity of a lawyer, want to defend your client. So at that point of time, when they give you the permission to defend your client in the court, you go there in capacity of a lawyer and not in capacity of a chartered accountant. And you will not use the designation of chartered accountant for that period when you are defending your client in the court. At that point of time, you are into the shoes of the lawyer and you are a lawyer. You are not a chartered accountant, right? So the basic concept behind this is that you should not be using both the designation parallelly. At the same point of time, you cannot be an advocate as well as a chartered accountant, right? Being Indian student, one example that is very common, all of you would understand, is you cannot be Gangadhar and Shaktiman at the same time. Either you are a Gangadhar or you are a Shaktiman. What Gangadhar can do as a reporter, only Gangadhar can do. What Shaktiman can do as a hero, only Shaktiman can do, right? So that is it. That is our capacity. You cannot say, yes, I am Gangadhar and I am Shaktiman. Like wearing that costume and the specs along, you say I'm both. You cannot do that. So that is what we need to understand. But just because in most of the books that I have seen, you have an example quoted about the income tax department, so there is where the confusion arises. Got it? Are you clear with that now? And one more thing that you need to realize is that if you are defending a client in the court, right, then what has that client come to you for? That is the basic thing you need to understand. Has he come to you because you're a chartered accountant and he needs the service of a chartered accountant? Then you are only a chartered accountant for that client. You cannot be also a lawyer. Today I am a CA, tomorrow I am a lawyer. Day after tomorrow I am a CA, again day after tomorrow I am a CA, but at the weekend I am again a lawyer because there's a hearing. You cannot use both the designations simultaneously for the same client. Simultaneously is the word. You cannot use your designation simultaneously. If you are a lawyer for any client, take the permission from Bar Council, be off the shoes of the chartered accountant for some time and be a full-fledged lawyer for that client. But if you're a chartered accountant, you cannot turn to lawyer and then come back. Right? So this is not exactly the Shaktiman and Gangadhar case. Okay? But actually you can again relate to that also. When he goes to the office, he's always Gangadhar. So your client, your office is one client. So whenever you're going to them, you are always a lawyer. For others, you may be a chartered accountant. Right? So for the same project, you are not using both the designations simultaneously. That is the crux. And I hope you're clear with it. Right? Okay. So let us move on to the next point. Should not use designation elsewhere. What? Now what do you think should not use designation elsewhere would mean? This means that wherever you go, whatever you write, for example, you are making a birthday card for somebody and you say with love from so and so chartered accountant. No, it's a birthday card with love from so and so, that's it. Right? So where do you use your designation? With your professional documents. May it be letterheads, may it be your visiting cards, may it be any document, any legal document that you have. Right? But yeah, if you refer back to the clause F or to the para F of clause number 6, right, over there we talked about the issue of the invitation card, right? So for that invitation card, the marriage invitation and stuff, yes, you are allowed to use chartered accountant. So that is a specification, that is a specific exclusion, and so it has been provided in the para F of the clause 6. So don't say that, okay sir, there is a confusion, because in para 6 or in clause 6 you talked about writing the name or using the designation chartered accountant when we are giving away the marriage invitation card. Now you say other than professional documents you're not supposed to use. So I'm clarifying it. That is an exception to this clause, right? So over here even the institute specifically mentions that apart from whatever we have studied in clause 6 para number F, those things over there also you can use the designation chartered accountant, but not elsewhere. That is why I took the example of a birthday greeting card, Happy New Year card, right? Don't write chartered accountant over there. That is not your professional document, right? Some people even go on to write or the initials CA on Facebook and stuff, right? So if you're writing CA so and so, it is still acceptable, but you cannot write so and so chartered accountant in full, because that would be a designation, right? So don't use it on Facebook when you become a chartered accountant, that yes, I am XYZ chartered accountant. No, right? Stop. Behold yourself. Control, right? So I think that is a line where we should draw the end of the lecture today, right? Because this clause also, as per clause 6, even this is a little lengthy clause. So we'll take some good time on this clause again, right? But all I want is to deliver the entire content that is there in the knowledge bank of the institute for your CA final syllabus, right? So we'll do that. It's on you what lectures you watch, because over here also you have got the basics of this clause. But my dear friend, when you get the questions, they are from a specific point. So you need to know each and every point in detail. Just keep following the lectures and leave it all to me. I will take you through the entire syllabus. Right? So just stay connected, watch the videos, and if these videos are helping you, if you think that yeah, these are really beneficial, then please share it with your other friends who need them. Right? Because this is a facility we are providing where you can share it with your friends on the go. Wherever you are, you have access to the classes, unlimited views, unlimited times to unlimited people. Right? So anybody who is not able to take classes anywhere due to their full-time work or anything, because recently I have been getting comments, I have been receiving comments from various places all over the country, even from Nepal and Kathmandu places. So we are into whole-time employment and we don't get time to go for the classes, because generally being a CA student, you know, your lectures, they stretch from 3 to 4 hours, either in the morning or afternoon or evening, and you don't have 4 hours a day to spare at a stretch when you are into full-time employment, right? So if you have any of such kinds of friends who are not able to attend classes, please share these videos with them, but share only if you think that these are useful to you and these will be useful to them, right? So I'll take your leave for this lecture now, and we'll get back and get in touch in the next lecture and continue with the clause 7, right? So until then, this is Abhinay Gupta signing off. Thank you and bye-bye.